Hello again. My name's Sr Theodora. I'm from Mull Monastery. Today I want to talk to you about this tree right here. But before I talk to you about this tree, I have a bit of a preamble. If you ever come to stay with us on a pilgrimage, you'll stay in the pilgrim house in Dervig. You walk down the driveway, you take a left, you walk for 10 minutes down a country road, and you will get to an incredible forest. I love this forest because I like forests, but that aside, to me it's special because it's what would be called a mosaic forest. It's different from the forests that we have in Canada because there's a lot more biodiversity within a much smaller area. So you walk into this forest and right away you have tons of birches. I understand this is pretty common throughout Europe, but it's not super common in Scotland. And you'll see trees of all ages. Some of them, like you're actually seeing the seedlings that have not been eaten by sheep, thank God. And then you're seeing these really old ones with the spooky faces that are staring back at you, and they have the hollows, and you're thinking, I hope there's an owl or a bat or something creepy sleeping in here right now, and I'll just leave it alone. And then there's just cool trees that are like growing right out of a rock. And then there's more things you would expect. There's patches of coppiced hazels, always super nice, very fluffy leaves. We have some native Scots pines. And then I found a giant tree that I think is a hemlock. Don't use these videos for plant IDs. I am not an expert at plant IDs, and I will lead you astray. But I think this tree is a hemlock, and it's huge. And it's the type of giant tree that you just go up to and you give it a big hug, because it's so big. As long as you don't cut it down, it's got you. So within this forest, we have this tree here. And this tree has fallen over, and about 2/3 of its roots are exposed. And the trunk lays on the ground, and a whole bunch of branches have bent up towards the sky, becoming leaders. You would think that this tree is on the verge of death, but in fact it's quite healthy. It might be healthier than the other trees in the forest. And I think that's because this tree is very humble. It's very vulnerable. With 2/3 of its roots up in the air, chances of it getting a disease through its roots are much higher. It can't get as many nutrients for itself. But there's a lot of advantages to humility. The first thing is that this tree, for its nutrients at least, is reliant on the forest around it. Forests form these connections through their roots, and if the trees are related, often they'll just share resources willingly. But if they're not related, then you have all these funguses in the earth, and they wrap their little hyphae around the roots of the trees, and they kind of force them to share their resources, with the funguses, but also throughout the whole entire forest. So whenever you have a struggling tree, the whole forest is going to come together and try and keep this tree going. And then the other thing, of course, is we live in Scotland, and it's very windy. In the winters, we have storms with winds of 80 miles per hour or more. If you're a tree and you're lying on the ground, you're gonna be a lot more stable than if you're just rooted in the rocky earth here. And I have a spiritual point to all of this. which is that humility is gonna make you stronger. It's gonna make you more fragile. It's gonna make you more vulnerable. It's gonna make you more reliant on others. But ultimately, humility is the path to salvation. Father Seraphim is often telling us, stay in your cell, stay on your cross. And what he means by this is when you found a safe place, stay there. And God will give you everything that you need for your salvation. It's very difficult and it's very easy, when you fall over, when you have to rely on others, when maybe others aren't helping you the way you want them to say, I'm done, I'm out of here. But if this is a safe place, if this is the place that God has given you for your salvation, it's in staying there, in being humble no matter the circumstances, that you're going to learn everything that you need. All right, that's all I have to say. Forgive me. And please pray for us. And I'll see you next time. Bye.